Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is Erwin coming to you today with a very interesting topic that I have received lately in the comments. Now, this one was kind of a part of multiple kind of content questions or like videos to, videos to make. And it was a pretty interesting one. It got me thinking. It was, what is the best way, or excuse me, no, it was, what is my driving style? I was going in a very different direction. The question was, what is my driving style? And it made me think for sure, because obviously at first I'm pretty sure they were referencing more so to racing. For anyone who is new, I am trying to get into racing. I have done amateur karting leagues, which I know is very different from actual road racing, but still, to some degree, I have done some form of higher level karting, but I do want to make the switch over to actual road cars, which again is what I'm assuming they were referring to with that question. But it made me think. Why not answer that question in a more day-to-day sense? Every day, new people are getting on the road, new people are getting their licenses, and even then, there are a lot of people who have had their license for quite a while, but probably shouldn't, if I'm being brutally honest. Or maybe just need a refresher, or, maybe they've been driving for a while, and, seeing new people getting on the roads, or seeing older people still being on the roads, just need to reevaluate the way that they drive to keep themselves safe. So, with that very long over explanation out of the way, what do I feel is the best way to drive? What is my driving style? So, my driving style personally is defensive and pre-planned. And I'm going to explain both and what I mean by both. So for those of you who watch my channel and understand racing and driving, y'all probably already know what defensive driving means. But for those who may be new and maybe aren't even really that knowledgeable about cars or driving or racing, defensive driving is essentially driving with the consciousness of watching your environment around you instead of paying attention to yourself. So some good examples would be, let's say the footage that you're seeing right here, which again, like, this footage that you're seeing was supposed to be the original video, but the audio was absolutely terrible because, again, mic broke, no mic. So really, it picked up more road noise than anything else. But I was driving home from work. In this video, I was on the interstate, and I literally have my cruise control on the speed. Well, actually, no, I was 5 under. I was 5 under the speed limit, just cruising. And because of that, I pretty much had the mental freedom, or the mental capacity available to where I know what I'm doing is legal. I'm going 5 under the speed limit, which where I'm driving is legal because the minimum speed is 40 for some reason, but that's what it is. That's what the sign says. Minimum 40, speed limit was 70. I'm going 65, and I was in the slow lane, but then I moved to the cruising lane because I think I was passing an on-ramp and there were some cars coming on, so I was giving them space to merge, but I digress. I know I'm good. I know everything that I'm doing is legal, so therefore, there's no reason for me to be thinking about it. There's no reason for me to be worried about my speed, worried about where I am. If people want to pass me, they have the space to pass me with either the passing lane, or if I was in the cruising lane, if they're seriously that much in a hurry, they can pass me using the slow lane, which isn't what it's for, but I digress. So I'm good. There's no reason for me to be overthinking what I'm doing. So therefore, that gives me the mental capacity to watch everyone else. See what they're doing. Are they driving a little recklessly? Are they driving too slowly? Are they driving, you know, halfway into the other lane, taking up 2 lanes? You know what I mean? So, it gives you the ability to watch everyone else, which gives you the upper hand when literally anything happens. Because things happen quickly, people, like I said, I'm cruising at 65, and I know nowadays, cars go so fast, so easily, and so smoothly to where, you kind of forget just how fast 65 miles an hour is. 65 miles an hour is still very fast. If someone were to be in the lane next to me and we're going the same speed, and for whatever reason they just kind of swerve into my lane going 65 miles an hour, I would need a reaction time of around a second, maybe even less than that, to be able to swerve out of the way for them not to hit me. Most people cannot react that fast, mainly because they're distracted, and that kind of goes into another notion. I know it's very hard for some people to not be on their phone while driving, which is a wild sentence to say, but there's a large portion of the population that unfortunately have that bad habit. Get off your phone. It's not worth it. Get off your phone. I don't care who it is. Like in my case, it could be the president. I'm not picking up that phone. I would much rather the person who's trying to reach me be mad at me when I get there than be upset or crying when I don't show up. So put the phone down, put it on a mount or something. Like if you really need to know whatever notifications come up, put it on a mount that's at least eye level with the road. That way you don't actually have to look down, look up, whatever. Like you just look straight. You see the road. If you really need to look that bad, have it somewhere where you don't have to take your eyes off the road by too much. But ideally, just don't look at it at all. It's not worth it. Get to where you need to go, and then when you get there, if you need to, make that phone call back, text message back, do it there. Now, obviously, the one exception is, of course, if it's an emergency, which is why I would say, put it on a mount to where, at the very least, you can see it while still being able to see the road. Because I understand emergencies happen, but 90% of the time, it's probably not an emergency. So, don't be on your phone. Now going on to prepared driving, because I said pre-planned. Excuse me, no, I said pre-planned. Defensive and pre-planned. So what do I mean by pre-planned? Make your travel as easy as you possibly can. There's no reason to overstress yourself by making your travel plans complicated, or by just not planning it, period. Because don't get me wrong, driving is stressful. I'm not gonna deny that fact, especially for new drivers who are just learning how to drive. Driving can be stressful. There's no doubt about it. But that's what makes it all the more important to try and make it as less stressful for yourself as you possibly can. So pre-plan your routes. So what do I mean by this? So when you're learning how to drive, or even people who have been driving for a while, if there's places that you regularly go to, like I'm going to just use Walmart, for example, I guess. You know how to get to Walmart. You go there all the time. But just take an extra few minutes to think extra carefully of how exactly do you get to your Walmart. Is your Walmart on the right side of the street. Like saying if you're driving, to your Walmart. Let's say the last turn that you make turning into a Walmart is a right turn. So make sure that you are already in the right lane far in advance to you even getting there. That way you're already in the lane that you need to be, and you don't have to fight anybody to make that turn to get into Walmart. Because you would be surprised how many people will be driving to a certain destination that they drive to every day, but will still be in the furthest lane or the middle lane, or, regardless, the lane that they're not supposed to be in, or shouldn't be in. Let me not say not supposed to, but shouldn't be in, to make the turn into their final destination. So now, they're fighting all these other lanes, all these other cars in traffic to get over, when, in all honesty, if they would have just been in the lane they needed to be in to begin with, they wouldn't have to fight anyone. They wouldn't have to stress about, oh, I'm about to miss my turn to get into Walmart, when they could have just been in the lane long before and they wouldn't have to fight anyone. It makes it so much easier. And this goes for literally anywhere that you're going. Just take a few extra minutes to think. It's like, okay, does it show up on the left? Does it show up on the right? Do I have to cross, I don't know, railroads, I guess? Can't really think of all the different kind of variations that there could be, but hopefully y'all kind of get the point of what I'm saying. Plan your route. It really doesn't take too much. Plan your route. Make it as easy for yourself as possible. Make it as less stressful for yourself as possible. Especially if you drive during rush hours. That's definitely when you want to plan your routes the most, because then again, you're fighting against less people, because your route is as simple as it can possibly be. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for as long as I've been driving. And trust me, it definitely makes it a lot easier, a lot safer. Now, not saying that, nothing can never happen, because life is very random, and sometimes it's not all about you. Sometimes it comes down to the other person not paying attention, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And in those moments, it is just truly unfortunate. But as I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, try to make it as safe as you can for yourself. Make it as easy as you can for yourself. Make it as less stressful as you can for yourself. Because at the end of the day, what matters the most is that you get to your destination safely. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of my tip for how I drive, my driving style, and what I feel is the best way to drive, especially nowadays, with how easily distracted people can be with all these crazy tech in cars nowadays, or even just with their cell phones or handheld devices, which is it's unfortunate, but that's just the world we live in nowadays. So be safe out there. Try to make it as easy for yourself as possible. I'll probably make a video sometime in the future, more on the racing side of things, of how I drive. It probably won't be anytime soon though, unfortunately, because with that video, I kind of do actually want to make it with me actually like racing something, so that way it's actually applicable. But yeah, no, it did make me think about answering that question from a day-to-day standpoint, especially for maybe younger people who are just learning how to drive, or maybe someone who just wants better tips to maybe make driving a little easier for themselves, because I also do know a lot of people that don't like to drive, that are very anxious about driving, which again, I completely understand, and I hope maybe this video kind of gives you some ideas that you can try to hopefully make it less anxiety inducing for you. And if it did, let me know in the comment section below. If you have some tips of your own that you think will be helpful to others, you can leave them down below as well. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you are alerted when I post another video. And I hope to see you all in the next one. I hope you have a good one. Take it easy. Peace.